Hello, class. Today we're going to be presenting The One Thing That Changed Everything, presented by Marely Hernandez
and Nancy Santiago. When you hear globalization, you probably think of things like products being made in other countries or calling customer service and reaching someone across the world.
Yeah, like outsourcing or international trade today.
Exactly. But this chapter actually shows that globalization goes way further back than that.
Like, not just years, centuries back, even before modern technology, people were already connecting across huge distances.
And that's important because it changes how we think about globalization. It's not just a modern thing, it's something that's been building over time. One of the main ideas running through the entire chapter is how people and places have been connected over time.
Yeah, and a big example that you'll see across this chapter is the Silk Road.
Right. The Silk Road was this massive network of trade routes that connected places like China, India, the Middle East, and even parts of Europe.
And the most interesting part is that it wasn't just about trading goods like silk, spices, or precious metals.
Yeah, it was also about exchanging ideas, things like religion, technology, and even culture.
For example, religions like Buddhism spread along these routes, reaching new regions and influencing how people thought about life and spirituality.
So, as we go on in the chapter, just keep in mind that globalization isn't new, it's just evolved. The tools have changed, but the idea of connection has always been there. Another big idea in the chapter is how different societies respond to that connection.
Yeah, because not every society reacts the same to outside influence. Most of them are afraid to go out of their comfort zone,
Some places are more open to change, to adopt new ideas, technologies, or beliefs pretty quickly.
while others try to protect their traditions to keep things more stable.
So you'll see different approaches in regions like South Asia, China, and Japan.
And those differences really shape how each society develops over time. But instead into going into detail, we're going to focus on one specific example that represents a bigger idea in the chapter.
Yeah, something that shows how culture connects to spirituality in a really simple but powerful way. So one thing that stood out is Japanese haiku, especially during the Edo period.
Yeah, and haiku are those really short poems. They're just 3 lines, but they actually carry a lot of meaning.
What's interesting is that even though they're so short, they're meant to capture a very specific moment.
Usually something from nature, like a season, a sound, or a small change in the environment.
One example is a poem about a frog jumping into a pond.
And this poem sounds really simple at first,
Yeah, it's like literally just describing a frog jumping into water.
but the important part is the moment it creates, the sound of the splash and the stillness before and after it.
Wait, so what does it actually represent?
It can represent a moment of awareness or realization, like suddenly noticing something and understanding something deeper.
Oh, so it's more about the feeling than the actual event.
Yeah, exactly. The event is simple, but it points to something bigger.
And that connects to Zen Buddhism, right?
Yeah, because Zen Buddhism focuses on being present, reflecting, and finding meaning in everyday moments.
So instead of searching for meaning in something big or dramatic, it's just about paying attention to what's happening right in front of you.
Exactly. Something small, like a sound in nature, can actually have a deeper spiritual meaning if you're aware of it.
And that's kind of different from how people usually think about spirituality.
Yeah, because a lot of times people associate spirituality with rituals, ceremonies, or strict rules.
But here, it's more personal and reflective.
It's important because it shows how people understand spirituality in different ways.
Yeah, like it's not always about big actions, it can just be about awareness and perspective. So if we connect that back to the whole chapter,
It shows that culture, like poetry or art, helps people understand big ideas about life,
and even though different regions have different traditions, they're all trying to answer similar questions about meaning, connection, and existence.
which is kind of what globalization is all about. Different societies interacting, sharing, and influencing each other over time.
So as you go into the reading, just keep a few things in mind.
How are people connected?
How do different societies respond to change?
And how do culture and spirituality show up in those societies? Because those questions will help you understand the true bigger picture, even if the details get complicated.
This was just a preview, so don't worry about catching every single detail.
Yeah, just focus on the main ideas and patterns as you read.
Exactly. Once you start noticing those, everything will make more sense.
And thank you for listening to today's podcast.